Hello, everyone. This is Tommy at World at War Comics. Thanks for joining us today. We have another amazing guest for you. Actually, two folks today. But before we get into that, hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell. That way you know when all of our interviews are dropping. Also, I want you to know that our podcast has an amazing couple folks that really help support the channel. The first one is CNChilies.com. Go to CNChilies.com for all your hot sauce needs. I go through this stuff like crazy. Big fan of their hot sauces. You need to check them out. Also, when you go to cnchilies.com and you go to checkout, if you put comics in checkout, you will save 15%. It's CIENCHILES.com. It's also brought to you by Comic Crusaders, the best in comic book reviews, movie reviews, music reviews, and they also have a huge lineup of incredible interviews for you to engage with. So check them out, comiccrusaders.com. Also follow them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. They are everywhere, and you will get a lot of amazing information by following them. All right, without further ado, we have two amazing guests today. They've worked together before on a comic book called Sissonne. Lee Newman, writer, creator extraordinaire. Shiro, also writer, creator, but amazing artist. They have come together again for a new comic called The Barbarian Queen. It is Karybdis. And right now they have a Kickstarter. I'm looking at it right now. They have 19 days to go and they could use your support. Go to Kickstarter, just type in Barbarian Queen and you will see it right there. It is called Karybdis. And man, it looks incredible. The art looks insane. And just wait, you're going to hear our conversation. And by the end of this, I think you'll be sold too. I'm excited for it. I hope you will be at the end of this interview. All right, without further ado, here is Shiro and Lee and I. And here we go. Thanks, everybody. Well, hello, everyone. Today, I got a special show. Today, we have Shiro, we have Lee, and we're going to talk about a new project that they've been working on that I think is going to be absolutely amazing. The world building, the character development, all of it is coming together so amazing, and I can't wait for them to share it to you. They also have a Kickstarter going on right now that we need your support on to ensure that this comes to fruition. But Shiro, Lee, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How are you both doing?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah, doing good. Living that stressful Kickstarter life. It's like the most stressful. Like, I don't know, something about Kickstarter. It's rewarding at sometimes, it's stressful at other times. You're looking at it constantly. I don't know how I feel about the process. It's a necessary evil. How's everything going with it?
I mean, pretty good. I feel like there's a lot of hype behind the book. I think the book's really strong. We're just kind of trying to find the people, get it out there to the people. So I think that we've got a really good concept. Everyone I've talked to about it has said they think it sounds great, think it sounds enjoyable. We're drawing from a lot of things that everyone loves. I mean, people love, Saturday morning cartoons. People love the idea of, bite-sized stories that you don't necessarily have to sit down and dedicate a whole, 30, 40 minutes to or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm selling. It's just like fast, fun stories. Every issue comes with broken into episodes, kind of like a cartoon would.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for, and we're also trying to shoot for a low price point because a lot of indie books, it's just the necessary evil that comics are expensive to produce. So we're trying to come in what would be underneath the usual indie price point. So that also does make it a little more stressful though, because we need more people to turn up. Because if we're not getting more money out of you guys, we need more people to show up so that we can give you the cheaper books.
Exactly. Well, I just from what has been shared with me so far, this is coming together really nicely. And then Shiro, just to talk about the art, right? I got some very, very early on renditions that I was sworn to secrecy, so I never told anybody, but I think it's okay to share now because those renditions are now colored and out in the public and on the Kickstarter. But man, the characters look absolutely amazing. Shiro, how is the art coming along and how comfortable do you feel with what's been produced?
Well, the art is coming along really well. I'm having the time of my life drawing in this style. Because I don't know if it's clear in the room. I'm usually asked to do the really cutesy comedy stuff. And after a while, I got it up to the natural color right here.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be able to draw in this style. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it a lot.
That's good. That's good. And it might be, correct me if I'm wrong, Shiro. I certainly don't want to speak on your behalf, but I would think if you've done it one style of art for a very long time, to have a change like this is probably a little refreshing too, to be challenged maybe in a different way. Do you feel pretty excited about that, I assume?
I am.
Yeah.
Though in the way I work, I actually do a lot of different styles for different comics.
Oh, okay.
I have a superhero style. I have this watercolor style, and I can draw in just about any style you ask me for.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, "Well, did you ever draw in this style before?" And I said, "No, that never stopped me before."
You figure it out, right?
Oh, I'll figure it out. Just give me a couple references and about a day, and I'm good.
Nice. Well, that's super exciting because the art does look fantastic. If you're not following Lee Newman or Shiro on X or Twitter, whatever they're calling it now, you should, because there've been some snippets of the book that have been released. And obviously, when we're done with this interview, you'll be able to see all the links and on social media as we share it out. But go to the Kickstarter. You'll get I think, a really nice synopsis of the story, and you'll see a lot of other great pieces of art that should get you as excited as I am for this. So, I mean, what I would love to do, and Lee, I kind of heard the story of how this book came to life, and I thought it was such a neat story. I would love for both of you to kind of share how this all came together, because it was awesome.
Sure. Okay. Well, basically, Shiro and I have worked on other projects together. Shiro is responsible for the much beloved Akira cover of Sissonne. So that was supposed to just be a promotional like mini print, but it was so cool.
It's so cool.
A foil cover. So put the money aside and just made it its own cover. And Shiro is also responsible for the Amazing Spider-Man homage cover as well, like the full collection here. Yeah. Also, I mean,
you showing off what I said earlier about working in different styles.
I know. I know. I actually had a question. I have all your styles right here.
So, we'd worked on a couple different projects.
Yeah.
And just been friends because of a mutual love of a lot of the stuff that inspired Karybdis.
Sure.
And one day I was just like, okay, you want to do like a little hobby thing, like a little thing on the side, just so you and I can get our pulpy Bernie Wrightson heavy metal monster hack and slash sword and sorcery stuff out that we're not doing
comics.
So that's how it started, and we kind of just started. I had an idea in my head, sort of the idea of a barbarian queen who's been knocked down past her prime, who she's not really past her prime, she's still pretty awesome, but past comic book prime, out of the 20s or whatever.
Right.
So who's basically kind of been doing this adventure trying to save her daughter from an evil wizard, and it just kind of clicked, and Shiro filled in the parts that I was missing. Yeah. And the more we talked about it, the more I just started writing down things, and I'd bounce stuff off of Shiro, and Shiro would have great ideas, great things to add. I mean, I've said it before, there are literally total worlds that we have planned out, like whole sections of this map. The world is called Maelstrom because it's all in turmoil and crazy and stuff. And we have all these different biomes. We have all these different, it's deserts, ice, everything you can think of from a fantasy world. And because it doesn't have to make sense, you can have a desert
Super
and a
Mario World levels.
right next to each other.
Desert, ice, water, pipes.
Why not?
Mushroom Kingdom, that's in Stadium. But we've got and stuff planned that we haven't even released yet, that we just we need to, if we can just kind of get the hooks in and get the book rolling. I've got other characters planned. Like we have it's weird how much this just came together, because it's like we took all the stuff we liked and we're just like, okay, this and this, and just kind of this world just came together on its own, almost just with us talking about the stuff that we thought was awesome. we've said before in other interviews, we basically just went to the toy box in every story. We just go this toy and this toy, and just
yeah.
And it's awesome.
That is so cool. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the picture of the Barbarian Queen, and what is that character's name that's always sitting next to her?
Slink.
Oh, Slink.
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 Slink. Yeah, he looks so awesome and a lot of fun. Where did that character come from?
I think we kind of decided that we needed someone. The original plan was kind of just to be Karybdis.
Yeah.
But you know how I write. It's almost impossible for me not to put some small amount of humor in.
Yeah,
and when we started
originally, excuse me, I'm just going to cut you off just 3 seconds. Originally, it was just Karybdis, and the comic was supposed to be silent.
Oh.
Back to
Are
you.
probably laughing because of how difficult it would be for me to do anything silent?
Hey, me too, Lee. Me too. That would not work for me. So then this character Slink came out of that idea. Like, when did you decide that, okay, it's not going to be silent? And is that when this character was developed, or did it not become silent because of this character?
I think Slink has probably got something to do with it, because Slink does kind of have I think Slink might have the first words in the comic, and they're him. Just trying to draw attention to himself. But it progressed from, okay, it's silent, to, okay, well, we'll do like a narrative thing, kind of like how you would have, someone telling the story of Conan, and like, a couple of narrative things. But then she needed someone to play off of, I think, to kind of keep things interesting. And so he put Slink in there, and there's no way he's keeping his mouth shut. From what you've seen, there's no way he's going to be quiet. So he's sort of like,
he keeps getting caught.
Yeah.
He's like the offset to her seriousness, because she's like so capable and so intelligent. It's like, you got like the Superman, and then you've got like Plastic Man. That's kind of like
well, I love that. And I think from a storytelling perspective, I think that could be I think very beneficial, right? To be able to have that serious warrior Conan like female that is just kind of a badass, and then you have this character that's following around, like taking her possibly off track of where she knows she needs to go, because she's constantly maybe trying to save this character or whatever trouble he's creating. I love that idea, and I think that could be a lot of fun. Am I close?
That's exactly. I've used the comparison I've started using is he's sort of like Abu in the Aladdin movies. Necessarily bad, but his fingers are sticky, and he is the reason trouble happens sometimes.
Yeah. I love it. Well, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. So as far as where the comic is at right now, obviously you have the Kickstarter. How many pages, like, are you done and you're just waiting for the Kickstarter? Are you in the lettering stage? Are you able to kind of share where you are in that process?
Well, do you want to go, Shiro, or do you want me to go?
Well, I was just gonna say I'm not very far, because we're kind of stuck waiting for the Kickstarter for that, because I have to do other paid jobs. See, it's kind of touchy.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why Kickstarter's there, right? Yeah.
You got to feed the cartoonist if you want the cartoonist to draw.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
A lot of times I like to have the comic done first.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of this, and just because of the cost of producing, I never ask anyone to, like Shiro said, Shiro's got to do the paid jobs too. This is situations where if we don't fund, the comic doesn't get made. All of this cool stuff we have planned just doesn't happen. So I mean, I don't think I've done several Kickstarters. This is one of the first times that we've been like, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So that's why it's imperative we hit that $2,300 goal. And I tried to set it very conservatively. That's basically just feed the cartoonists and get the stuff printed, and that's what that money is.
I could just say, like, Shiro, this is my first time having the opportunity to meet you, which I'm very happy about. So I'm hoping this isn't the last time. But I have met Lee, and I am familiar with Lee's work, even some of his earlier work, which we've talked about on our last interview, Lee. But the quality of story that I know you're going to get, it's well worth whatever you're charging on Kickstarter, because between both of you, I'm sure. But Lee, I know just from reading Sissonne and some of your earlier works, from a storytelling process, I really look up to you because you really do things right, and you're so good at drawing out all the different emotions that create a character. So I'm super excited about it. And so if you're not familiar with Lee or Shiro from an art standpoint, which I am only familiar with you, Shiro, is because of these. And if the inside is going to look like anything like this, we know that the story, the art, everything is going to be super high quality. So if you're hearing this, trust me. I like to think I'm a little neutral. Maybe not. I'm a little biased because I do enjoy you a lot, Lee. But I would say jump on this because the story is going to be fantastic and the art's going to be incredible. So I agree with you. I mean, that's why Kickstarter is there, is allow independent creators like yourself to be able to bring those stories forth. And this is certainly worthy of that kind of support. And, Kickstarter is kind of funny, right? Because I think sometimes people look at it as I hate to use the word handout, but it really isn't. It's just a way of purchasing that art that you're developing, right? And so I consider Kickstarter as my second LCS, right? I have my LCS where I pick up my comics that I'm going to pick up, my DC, my Marvel, my Image. And then I will tell you, I'm on Kickstarter daily, just looking at whatever's happening on there because there's so many different amazing creators doing things. And then I shop on there for all my indie stuff. And so that's how you should be looking at Kickstarter. And then you should be looking at amazing creators and artists like these two individuals to be able to make those decisions. So hopefully we get some more people looking at that. We'll certainly share the heck out of this on social media to get the word out there. But I am really excited because I know it's going to be high quality.
I definitely want to take a second to give some credit here. I do I'm sort of a lead writer, I guess, but I don't consider that. I've never written something so cooperatively.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Literally, everything I do, it's like I have an idea and I bring that to Shiro, and Shiro polishes it up, and almost always has an extra cool gag to put in there. This is the most cooperative book I've ever done, which I think is one of the magical things about it. Is that I don't feel like it's not a situation where I'm a writer that hired an artist.
Right.
It's a situation where I went to my friend and I said, hey, you like this stuff, I like this stuff. We can make something really new and different and cool. And that's what this is. This is just, it's so organic and it's so fun to write together and to have someone. I mean, Shiro knows, I'm steeped in all of this stuff, all of this, monster stuff and barbarian stuff and everything. But it's like every whole gap in my knowledge, Shiro can fill to bursting. Just a wealth, especially since I don't have a lot of exposure to Canadian books, and Shiro's in Canada. So when we first start, what was the name of the?
Not just Canada. I'm in Quebec.
Oh yeah.
No, we have a very healthy, indie creator. Society, I would like to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that I'm rural. That's my problem. I can't really travel, so everything I know is from online.
Yeah.
But we have a unique comic history, I would say.
Yeah. No, I love Quebec. I've been there several times for work, and one of the most beautiful places, I think, in North America for sure. Are you near like Quebec City in the north? Or are you in the south near Montreal?
No.
Literally in the middle of nowhere.
Like, there's Montreal, there's Quebec, and then there's that little bit of land.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a beluga because it's probably going to be on YouTube. I'm at the tippy tip of that.
Wow, you are out there. You are out there. That's amazing. Well, I'm sure you have some pretty awesome experiences just living where you are that could be added to something like this too, from a comic book standpoint. I mean, how much winter do you get, Shiro?
Too much, if you ask me. Because I'm right next to the sea, so there's a lot of winter when winter arrives. There's a lot of it. Awesome. If you want some, I'm willing to give you some.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you are. Yeah, I'm good. I'm in California. I mean, it gets down to 60 degrees. I have a beanie and a parka on, so we don't do very well in the cold here in Southern California. In fact, we get where I live in a city called Hemet. And you know, during the winter, we probably have about 30% of our population from Canada come down, the snowbirds, and then they live here for 5.5 months before they have to go back up. And they make fun of us constantly during the winter because we're just earmuffs on and everything, and they're out in shorts and a t-shirt jogging. So it's pretty funny. You could probably experience some of that too, Lee, being where you're at. You could probably handle the winter a lot better than Southern Californians, but we're pretty pathetic when it comes to the cold. I enjoy the cold, but not that kind of cold. But I love
pretty pathetic when it comes to the heat. So
yeah. Probably the other way around, right? When it comes to hot,
yeah, we get hot. I mean, we get all 4 seasons, and when it's too hot, I'm just not stepping outside. I will cook, as you can see from my beautiful tan.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you said that, Lee, because I think that's really important to talk about that collaboration. And I think, and obviously me coming into this not knowing Shiro, my assumption was you were the writer, she was doing the art, but I'm glad that you mentioned that the collaboration is there. And I think books are better when you have that kind of collaboration, because as you know, we're all fans too. And you know, when you're reading something and you have the writer and then you have the artist way over here, and you kind of feel that sense like maybe they were on the same page on a few of these panels, because you know, again, if you're working for the big two, they're probably working on so many different things. There's not a lot of time to come together. So that's not a shot at anybody, but I just think you could tell when you're not on the same page. So I'm glad that kind of collaboration is going to be there, because that'll just make the book even better, I think.
I agree. The most succinct way that I can put it is I couldn't make this book without Shiro, and I wouldn't make this book without Shiro.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Can you kind of talk about how you two became friends? Like, how did that connection start within the comic world?
We met both working for another smaller publisher.
Oh, okay.
And so we ended up kind of just going through all the things that we liked. And I think I remember sitting like, I was like, here's pictures of my creepy stuff from my room. And Shiro,
I got creepy stuff too.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like cartoons from the 80s. I'm also from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really
how we just become best friend. Yes.
I love it. I love it, man. So like G.I. Joe, He-Man, all those different things that took place at that time is that connecting factor then, huh? And then it just blossomed into working together. So was the first time that you actually worked together, was it on the covers then? Was this
I think
first time?
that was the first time that
so, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. Very, very cool. So what has the experience been like? And as far as that process of writing and the art side, how often are you coming together to collaborate? Like, is it page by page, or you work like once a week and then you're just doing the art side of it? Like, how does that collaboration work as you're working on this particular title?
Well, I guess it started
not that organized.
Not it really, like I kind of, I got really excited about it, and then just opened up a Word document, just like everything I love. Yeah. And then so I made that publicly available for Shiro, so Shiro could look through and added a few things. And it was kind of like me bringing in stories. Shiro's got a really good way with language too, so I'd be like, this name doesn't sound right. Shiro's the one who coined Karybdis for our character. Okay, that's not me. That was Shiro. Like, I have no idea what to name this character, and Shiro came up with that. And I was like, I have no idea what to name this place, and Shiro came up with the Maelstrom thing. Cool. And there's a lot of kind of mythology influences in it as well. So, but it's very collaborative, and it's usually what happens is I'll write a script, and then I'll send it off to Shiro to kind of like parse and decide what seems good, what sounds good. Yeah. And I'm always open. Like it's almost like Shiro's like both a co-writer and an editor. Yeah. So if something seems like it's not going to work, or something seems like it could be better, I'm always open to suggestions and stuff. And Shiro always has a good idea to make things just like a little bit better than it was when I come out with stuff.
Love it. I love it. Shiro, are you going to add anything to that?
Well, like I said, it's not that organized, because when one of us has an idea, we tell the other one like right away.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Like I'm eating a meal, and then there's like, and like, I got an idea, and I'm like, oh my god, this idea is so good. What if we did this too? And it's like, oh my god, yes.
I love how spontaneous that seems to be as well, which I think shows the excitement behind the story, and even that collaboration, the strengthening of that collaboration, which I think is really fun.
And the beauty of the storytelling too, the format that we're using, where it's like this episodic storytelling, is you know the method, you know like what the drive is, you know why she's doing what she's doing, and you know where she's going, but you've got this huge section in the middle where you can just be like a cartoon, like a Saturday morning cartoon, we know we have to beat Skeletor, but this week we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that next week, and then we're going to do this.
That's
and
awesome.
as long as that overarching narrative is there, you can tell whatever stories you want in between and go wherever you want to go. And that was always the idea, was to tell the story in a way that if you just picked it up, the characters were relatable enough that you can go, okay, this is this person's deal, that's that person's deal, what's happening here? And then, oh, this is fun. And maybe go pick up an older issue, or get a new issue when it's coming out. Because I mean, I love good stories, I love big narratives. But like huge events, it's always tough to try and pick up every single issue, and you're like, did I miss this, did I miss that? So we try and tell our stories so that it's fun, even if you picked it up for the first time, and then you just know that you want to go back and get the other stuff.
That's so cool. And I think from a fan side, I know it sounds weird, but it kind of relieves some of the pressure.
Exactly.
Also, right, I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes when you have a comic, and if you miss one and you go to the other, right? For me, I get a little stressed out, and I got to search for that comic. And so I don't know, just to be able to kind of jump in wherever, and I can always go back to that one once I pick it up. I think that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I love the idea of episodic storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's cool. And then can you kind of tell us where the name for the comic came from?
Oh, that's you, Shiro.
Yeah. So how did you come up with that name? And is it just something you made up, or does it have like another meaning that you felt would go really perfect with the story that you were telling?
Well, it's literally just like, when I suggested the name, it's just because it was a very hard sounding name.
Yeah.
But it was assigned to a female character in Greek mythology.
Oh, okay.
And I knew from the concept that as of yet unnamed Barbarian Queen was looking for her daughter.
Yeah.
And one of the stories of Karybdis and Scylla, assuming I'm pronouncing that right, I'm pronouncing it right for the book.
Right. Yeah.
So you're good. No one's going to pop up.
Yeah. You're not going to get any argument from me. I have no idea.
You still don't know how to say Sissonne right. So, I mean.
And one of the stories of the Greek myth was that originally the monsters, Charybdis and Scylla, were mother and daughter.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the idea.
Ah, okay. Very cool.
And they live in a, well, I'd like to say water hole just to make it simple. The cyclone itself is called Maelstrom. So there you go. That's how I got them all together.
Yeah. So a lot of Greek mythology that you brought into this comic book as far as some of the naming. Did you use that concept throughout the comic for any other cities and stuff like that?
I feel like there's a couple places that, there's a couple places I have written down that are kind of influenced by other things. Yeah. But like Shiro said, like we're not necessarily drawing from the actual story of Scylla and Charybdis. But the theming is there, like the narrative, the idea is there, like they're very tightly wound. The idea of the whirlpool and maelstrom, like that's baked into the storytelling, but we're not telling that story, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They just happened. Charybdis just happens to have that name.
Yeah.
She's not going to turn into a monster at the end. Spoiler.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I enjoy that kind of stuff, and I love the history of how like certain things are named the way they are, and I think that's pretty cool. As far as the story goes, like obviously we're working on the first issue, but as far as where you think the story will go, like how many more issues have you think you already have a story for? Have you even thought about that, or not really? You're just kind of focused here, or like, look, what we have today will produce 6, and then we'll see where it goes after that. Does that make sense?
It does. I've drafted out enough actual scripts
Yeah.
for about 3 issues. Based on that, each story is about 6 to 12 pages.
Nice.
So I've drafted out about enough for maybe, I guess maybe 3 issues.
Yep.
And then we have 3 of these side quests, which is what's in the ash can that we're making, the little what we call the G.I. Joe PSAs. So we have 3 of those ready to go as well that are already scripted out.
Nice.
So I mean, we could easily go 3 issues without having to draw up without having to script out anything else.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, the whole idea was to kind of, even though we know the ending, we've already planned out like, okay, this is how it ends. This is the major story beats at the very end. It's written in such a way. I use the Conan stories as an example, where you can fill out as much as you want. So if it took off, and we're like, okay, we're going to do 100 issues, we could.
Yeah.
Or if we're like, okay, I think this has gone long enough, let's hit the finale. We could do 20 if we wanted to. But there's so much world there that we've already built that we could continue to tell stories in it for as long as we wanted. Yes. Because as I've said before, we kind of already missed the point where I guess the story would be like, okay, we've gone too far. She's not going to save her daughter, because by the time we join Charybdis, she's already an older adult. Yeah. So a lot of people would have given up already. But Charybdis is not ready to stop telling that story yet. Charybdis continues to fight, continues to go after the necromage, our villain. Yeah. Who's all broke, uses his gross necromancer powers to make the world all disgusting.
Yeah.
So like that's the whole idea, is we kind of wrote it open-ended, but with the end kind of hanging on a hook for whenever we're ready.
Nice. Very good. Now, as far as the Kickstarter goes, it's a 30-day Kickstarter. Is that correct?
I think we set it for I think like 34 days, because I wanted to go a little bit longer. They say to do 28, but I wanted to give a couple of extra days. Sure. Just because people get paid at different times. Maybe
absolutely.
This is kind of short, so I know it's always a gamble. You never really know. But I felt like 34 felt pretty good, because you go for a whole month and then you've got a couple days and someone's like, oh, I don't get paid until the beginning of the next month or whatever. So I wanted to try and be as fan-centric as I could. Like the whole idea of this was just to put comics into hands, to make comics that were cheap, that were cool, that were fun, that were tight stories and really tight artwork, and just stuff that you could sit down if you're okay. I got 10 minutes. You can sit down and read a story. Like you can feel like you watched an episode of a TV show or whatever. So the whole
I love it. And how many days do we have left on the Kickstarter?
20 question mark.
20. Well, still quite a bit of time for people to jump on, though. A lot of time left.
Yeah, so we've still got a couple of weeks left. And we've got so many cool extras planned. Like if all we have to do is hit goal, and everybody, even the digital backers, get this loot trove of 16 curated indie comics from all of my friends, a bunch of really cool people across the indie verse. There's actually 2 complete full-length novels in there as well.
Wow.
And also a little copy of Sissonne. If you haven't read Sissonne, I put Sissonne in there as well. And that's just for hitting goal. That normally people would make that a stretch goal, but we're so focused on giving back to people who give to us that we just want to keep things rolling. Awesome. I mean, it's within a few $100s of that. We've got other things. We have there's a super cool song. It was written by Stephen Todd from We Have Issues podcast. And there's an MP3 download that we're giving for free. I mean, it's just cool. It's got thing after thing after thing set up, only a few $100 between, because all we want to do is give you cool stuff. Just for sure. We're going to do a foil card, and that's not a stretch goal. If we fund, you get a cool foil card with your pledge. No extras, no add-ons, no nothing. You get a cool trading card just for going I think we still have $5 tiers left. So you put in $5, you get a comic. If we fund, you get 16 more digital ones, and you get a cool trading card, and you get all the cool stuff that comes with it as we keep rolling.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Wow. Well, I'm sold, Lee. You got me, man. I'm sold, man. I love it. How about like covers? So I've seen what you have done so far. Is there something you could share about covers, or are you keeping that kind of close to the belt until we get toward the end? Like, do you have some cool covers? Are you going to do a couple variants, or?
Well, we have 3 covers right now.
Okay.
And We have the base cover, which is Shiro's amazing VHS cover.
Yeah, I love that one. That's so cool.
That's a perfect example of what Shiro was just talking about, where there's a thing that maybe Shiro hasn't done before. And I was like, can you do a VHS cover? And Shiro said, well, I haven't. Send me some stuff. And you saw the amazing cover we got out of that. A lot of pieces would be a variant, but that's the base cover.
That's so cool.
Is the base cover.
Yeah.
And Shiro incredibly hooked us up with Mike Ruth from DC and IDW and stuff like that, who's done covers for books like Ninja Turtles, Gargoyles, Swamp Thing. I mean, Shiro and Mike are good friends, and because of Shiro, I've become friends with Mike as well. So
that's awesome.
Sure enough for that.
Yeah.
And then our third cover is by an artist called Orange Zeppelin, and it's done all in traditional art style. It's like kind of like a watercolor, and we're doing that as a virgin cover. So there's not even going to have the logo or anything, because I didn't want to cover any of it up. It was just so perfect. So those are the three. I tried not to go, I can get a little ham with those variants. So I tried again.
Some of them are pretty cool though, Lee. Some of them are pretty cool though. Yeah.
I do love variants, and the way I see it, I'm putting money into the pocket of artists that I really appreciate and admire. But from a FOMO standpoint, like from the beginning, we said we wanted to keep it tight. We didn't want people who had to spend a whole lot of money to get all the stuff. I hate people like they're missing out, even though that's like the biggest marketing tactic of Kickstarter is don't miss out. But we kind of built our marketing on, hey, please give us some money so we can give you all this cool stuff. We don't want out.
I like that. As a consumer, I appreciate that, Lee. That's awesome. That's so cool. And I can't wait until I've seen the pictures of the VH1. The writer David Boer?
I don't think I'm familiar, no.
Yeah, he did. He has a comic that he created called Specs, and then Canto. I don't know if you've ever read Canto.
I don't think
he's
so.
The creator of Canto. Well, he came out with 2 VHS covers not too long ago. And I thought they were so cool. And when I saw your VH cover, it reminded me of that right away. And I'm like, it's such an amazing idea. And especially when we started the interview talking about the 80s, it'd be interesting to see what % of your backers have no idea what a VHS tape is. That would be a good thing, right? That means you got some younger readers, but that'd be pretty funny to see if there's anybody like, what the heck is a VHS tape? I know my girls, all my kids have no idea. My oldest does, but my youngest doesn't have no idea.
Another option would be to make a goosebump cover.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Just slime around it.
I know. That would work. They would know what that is for sure. But I love it. I love like the business plan around it. And I think 3 covers is plenty personally. But I do enjoy the covers that have been done in the past. That's awesome. What else am I missing, Shiro and Lee? What else about the book that maybe we haven't touched on yet?
Well, okay. I was just about to hand it over to you. So, Shiro, do you have anything else? I mean, I could talk for days. I could literally go on this. The story is it's so much fun. We really just kind of wanted to tell a good story and something that's concise. And one of the things I've appreciated the most is that thing I feel about Shiro filling my blind spots on stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've gone and looked up a bunch of stuff because Shiro has mentioned it before. Shiro has there's a lot of styles in the artwork because Shiro is so able to switch around. Like I feel like what we have now draws from like, manga. It draws from like the Asterix comics, which I grew up on, and apparently Shiro is a massive fan of.
I have the entire current collection right here.
Wow, really?
They're all down
Let me
there.
see. Listen. Oh wow. I love it.
Behind the
yeah.
I'm gonna move some stuff around. You guys are gonna enjoy my Ninja Turtle pants.
I love it. I love it. Can't go wrong with Ninja Turtle pants.
There we go.
I had my Office ones on. I'm a big fan of the Office. So,
how long are you, Cable?
What's that?
There we go.
Oh wow!
That whole bottom row.
That's so cool.
Really old beige. Those are.
I would say you're a fan. I would definitely say you're a fan, Shiro. So I mean, that's awesome. That versatility that you're talking about, Lee. That's incredible.
There's so many different things, just because like just in the few pages we've done, you can really see like where we draw from different things, and it's been really cool to kind of let Shiro just do whatever Shiro wants to do. Like I come out with some words and then I say, just you design the stuff. Because from the beginning, from the very first time we started to work on it, I said, I want this to be a book that you enjoy working on. I want this to be something that feels fulfilling to you, and something that you can draw that doesn't feel like work. And hopefully we're accomplishing that. It definitely shows in the pages that Shiro's putting everything into every single page. I mean, it's gorgeous, like just like the shading work and the smallest details, and also a few Easter eggs, because Shiro loves Easter eggs. So
huge fan of Easter eggs. I blame Archie for that. Specifically Sam Schwartz. The artist that developed the character of Jughead. He would love to put Easter eggs and little gags in the background of all his Jughead comics. And, I tried to do that too. There's like this, like references and gags and stuff like that. There's a little teeny tiny reference on the cover, on the VHS cover for Karybdis.
Really? I'll have to relook at that really closely now. Now that you said that's going to drive me crazy. I love that Where's Waldo feel when there's Easter eggs.
If you want a teeny tiny hint, it's on one of the stickers.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, so you could expect something on X later. Like, I think I found it. Is this it?
Like, to give you an idea how deep cut we are about this, or how deep cut Shiro is about it, there's a subtle reference in the one page we've released that's Kickstarter to the Super Mario Brothers movie with Bob Hoskins. The tiny little reference in there that if you notice it, you'll notice it. But and we love I love anachronistic stuff too. So like it's really cool. It's really neat. And like Shiro actually had to point that out to me and sent me a side-by-side picture. And I was like, oh, I see what you did there. I see what's
Oh, I love it. She doesn't break out in song and sing Peaches, does she? In the comic?
I mean, not in this. I mean, if you guys fund us enough, we'll do whatever. We'll figure something out.
It's a stretch goal now.
Yeah. We'll add 2 more pages of a song if we hit a stretch goal. Yeah, I love it. Well, that's so exciting.
I'll sing Peaches.
Yeah.
Oh, heck, where's my wallet?
Yeah. That is so cool, man. Well, I can't wait for it. I mean, it looks absolutely spectacular so far. And if anybody's listening to this and they haven't seen it, you got to follow Lee. You got to follow Shiro on, sorry, we were talking about He-Man. I said Shira. But you got to follow Shiro and Lee on X. That way you get all the different visuals, because it's going to be badass. I mean, I can't wait for it. Super excited about it. And wow, I can't thank you both enough for coming on and allowing me to ask you questions about it. But our goal is to fund. And I think we have some work over the next 20 something days, and you could count me in as sharing it as much as possible. Lee, I'll do anything to help get this baby funded. Not that I have all the power in the world, but I'll share it as much as possible. And if you both want to come on in a couple of weeks and do this all over again, we could do it again, but whatever it takes to get it funded, because I would love to have this in my hands. And I think people who maybe haven't made their decision yet, trust me when I say you're going to want this in your hands. It's going to be amazing.
Let's be real. You all just want me to sing Peaches now.
I do. It's out there. I want to see you at a piano belting out Peaches. That would be amazing.
There are very few embarrassing things I would not do to fund this book.
That's more on the simple side, probably, right? Compared to other things you could be asked to do. Yeah. Nah, I love it. I can't wait for it to fund. And I really don't think you're going to have an issue funding. I think this is going to be one of those comic books that people are excited about. And yeah, I can't wait to.
That's the thing with Kickstarter. It's like there's a boost at the beginning, and then there's a big lull in the middle that stresses Lee out. And then there's another boom at the end, usually. So
there's a boom at the end. And I think, so that's the thing, right? If you do a short one, a shorter Kickstarter, you have the extreme ridiculous amount of stress of trying to fund in a short amount of days. So that's not smart to do, right? So then you do, like you said, they say 28 days or you do 34 days. You get that like boom at the beginning of those people are like, yeah, I'm going to back them no matter what. And then you have a bunch of other people that are like, oh, that looks really cool, but I got 30 days, so I'll come back to it. And then you just hope that they actually remember to come back to it. And that's why you have to promote it so often, just to remind people that, hey, you got 6 more days to make your decision, right? So yeah, I don't think there's a way to get out of the stress of doing a Kickstarter. I think stress is just, they should have that kind of on a warning label. Like if you do a Kickstarter, just realize there is a certain amount of stress that will increase in your life for 30 days. And just get that out there in the front of the world and let you know before you jump on this. But I mean, I don't think this is your first rodeo, either of you doing a Kickstarter, you know, the process. So, but I can't foresee any issues. Knock on wood. We still want to do our due diligence and make sure that people know about it. But yeah, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to have it in my hands, like I said. And I certainly am glad that the VHS version is the first. Yeah, the main cover, because that's incredible. I could put that with my collection of VHS covers, which will now be 3.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we really appreciate you having us on as well, because I'm so good at telling everyone else how cool everyone else is.
I know,
but I'm so bad at being like, hey, I'm doing something. Yeah. So it really to have other people to kind of help us boost the signal, because it's 100%. Really easy to brag on all the people that I think are amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's really easy for me to brag on Shiro, so it's good that Shiro's involved in this. So I can say, look, this is amazing. And I wrote some words.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Really appreciate shows like yours allowing us to come on and allowing us to boost that signal.
No, 100%, Lee. And I've told you before, I look up to you. I think you are a really amazing writer. And then Shiro, I'm so glad to have met you, and I'm hope that we could have you on several times over the next few years. And but anything you need from me, both of you, you know, I'm here for it. We'll definitely push it out as much as possible. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for you both. And if there's, like I said, if there's anything that I could do on your behalf, please let me know. But to anybody who's listening to this, please go over to Kickstarter. Do it now. Don't make them stress out. Just go in there and fund. If you know you're going to do it, just do it, because you don't have to pay until it funds anyways, right? So you might as well just put your name in there to take some relief off of these great folks, because it is really stressful. And but yeah, I'm in all the way, and let's get this bad boy funded so I could get my comic.
Yeah, and also the sooner we fund, the sooner we start to start rolling out those extras. We've got so much cool stuff. Shiro designed a card, like a rental card, like a Blockbuster card, for the video store that rents the videotape that's on the cover. We've got, that's like all these little like circles and circles. And I mean, we've got up to and including additional pages of comic, which is really the big thing we want to do. Yeah, I'd love to be able to add some more pages to the book, because it's on the shorter end as far as the comics, as far as like the actual panel pages go. Yeah. We did fill it out with some extra stuff and some things like that, but I'd love to be able to deliver a bigger comic just in general.
Yeah.
But we've got mini prints, we've got all kinds of stuff. We've got the rental card, the music. I mean, and what's crazy is this story just started within the last year.
Yeah.
And we're already getting fan art. I have enough that people have given me the green light to use that I could just keep giving you guys trading cards. I could just keep giving mini prints. Yeah. There's so much that we could do. I feel like we've got such a good concept. We just got to find people. So if you show up and you start putting some money down, we can start just delivering you all kinds of cool stuff for free. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you at least on Sissonne, some of the stuff that you came up with as freebies was pretty awesome. So I would expect nothing less than to have all these other awesome freebies with this comic as well. You do a really good job of that, Lee. And then Shiro, it sounds like you came with some pretty cool ideas too. I love the Blockbuster card idea, especially when you have a cover that's a VHS tape. And again, if you're under 25 years old, we could explain what Blockbuster and a Blockbuster card was on another podcast. But
there are documentaries.
Go to Netflix. There's a good documentary on Blockbuster. Yeah.
One of the cool things we're doing is we're actually dabbling in add-ons a little bit more than I usually do.
Okay.
I've never put a cameo in a comic before. Like, not a Bible cameo. Yeah. So we actually have the head on a pike cameo, where you can be like had like a head on a pike, like during a barbarian raid.
I love it. That is.
And then obviously we mentioned we have Mike's original artwork as an add-on.
Yeah.
We have original art cards that Shiro designed that'll be original art that Shiro has done as add-ons. And we also have a couple different prints planned as well and things like that. And there's what we're calling the mystery cameo that is tailored completely to whoever takes it. Whoever takes it, we're going to ask you some questions, and you're going to know it's you in the book because it's going to look like you, and it's going to have things that you love about this kind of genre that reference you. And we will talk about you specifically in the book.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's really cool. I don't want to spoil it. I know that it's a gamble to say mystery cameo. But we have the really cool ending plan for this that I haven't spoken with anyone really other than Shiro. So ending includes that mystery cameo that is tailored to whoever takes it, and that's a one of one. No one else is going to have it. Immortalize yourself in issue 1 of Barbarian Queen Karybdis. But we're also, anyone who buys this Founders Edition, you'll be in every subsequent issue in the credits. It's not like forget your name in this issue, pay again to be in next issue. We're calling it Eternal Warriors. So you become an Eternal Warrior by pledging when this first issue happened, and you're etched in stone, buddy. You're going to do it every single time we make a comic.
That is so cool. It's such a great idea too. Oh man, that's awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, Shiro, as far as those sketch cards, were those sketch cards like the cards that were used for the art for the trading cards, or are those sketch cards the art from like a panel? Are you just reproducing something like that?
Well, I was not really thinking like reproducing, because I'm really not that big a fan of redrawing the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the same image, because redrawing the same character, like, no problem. Like 10, 20, there you go.
Yeah.
But it would be more like different poses, different events, stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
Well, Shiro has experience. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Shiro has experience doing a promotional card, like licensed promotional cards.
Oh, wow.
So that's what these are. This is like where you would open up a pack and there would be a chase card in there that's original art from an artist.
Oh my goodness.
Shiro's done that before, and I was like, let's do that.
That is so cool.
And Shiro designed the card and everything. It says like Karybdis on it. Like, it's not just a blank card. Like, it's branded and everything for our comic. So you're not going to get it anywhere else.
That is so cool, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, very good. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate both of you coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Again, if we want to do this again in a couple of weeks, just let me know. Anytime, to be honest, you want to come on, let me know. But I'm really excited about this. Please, if you're hearing this, go to Kickstarter. Just look up, was it Karybdis? That's all they have to look up?
Karybdis, yeah. Barbarian Queen Karybdis, yeah.
There you go. So just look up
write it down in the description later, because it's a little hard to spell. It's got a Y in it. And
yeah. I mean, if they put Barbarian Queen, it'll pop up probably in Kickstarter. It's pretty good, yeah. But I would definitely do that, Shiro. What's that?
I looked it up. There's only 2 things that start Barbarian Queen. Us and one of the things. So.
Very good, yeah.
I could have saved us some trouble and just called her Barbarian Queen.
Yeah. No, that would take away from all your hard work of coming up with that name, Shiro. I think that's pretty cool and very unique too, to this comic. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, just look it up. But I'll put everything below to make it super easy for anybody to go there. And then when we share this on TikTok and Instagram and all those other, I'll make sure that the link is on everything. But man, I'm so happy for you. I know this is gonna fun because of who you guys are, and yeah, I can't wait to have it in my hand. But in the meantime, we'll still do the work to make sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you too. I really appreciate you, and we'll talk very soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.